Hey, what's going on, everyone? Coming to you live. This is Brandon from Cosmic Comic Bros, and this is our first ever review for our channel, and we had to get it right where it all started at with Cap in the first Avenger. And with that, I got someone joining me, and with that, I'd like to introduce you guys to Steve. Hey, Steve, how are we doing today?
Hey everybody, doing good. Welcome. Thanks for having me on, Brandon.
Of
Really looking
course,
forward to talking about Cap, the first Avengers, probably one of the more underappreciated films. So yeah, thanks
definitely.
for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And with all that being said, we're gonna hop right into it, guys. This has been a well-awaited video. We're ready to jump right in. So I'm gonna start off, and don't forget, we are gonna do a total breakdown and our ratings for the video, our rankings, how we rank them out of 5 towards the end. Please stick around to the end of the video to see that, please. So with that being said, I'm gonna jump right into it, and I gotta start off where it all begins with Captain America and Bucky. How about that relationship from the jump? We see Steve Rogers. He's in the movie theaters. He can't get in the army. He's trying to do whatever he can, and his buddy Bucky just gets picked up, goes right into the army, and then we get a short clip of him in the alleyway um picking on some guys he was in the theater with, and got into it with them in the alleyway, and he didn't back down or anything. This is little Steve we're talking, and sure enough, out of nowhere, he grabs the trash can, foreshadowing what's to come in the future with Captain America and who Steve Rogers really is deep down inside. And then Bucky comes right in time and kicks that guy's butt and sends him packing. What did you think of that, Steve? Their intro to Bucky and Cap, Steve
Yeah,
Rogers.
I think that I love that you pointed out how that was Cap's first shield, right? Because I think they have obviously do that on purpose, right? And this was like one of the things I talked about. I wish we had a little bit more like exposition into like Steve and Bucky, kind of how they knew each other before. Like they talked about it lightly,
Right, they
but
briefly touched on it, but
I feel like that could have helped the movie a little bit. But all these scenes are really good, whether it's them here, whether it's them, later on in the movies for the fight when they're just walking around the museum and other expos, right?
oh man,
It's a
yeah.
very good it's a very good solid foundation that they're building there,
Their French, their
and
relationship on, yeah. And you can feel it. It comes across on the screen. You can tell these guys are really pretty much seems like they're brothers in a way. Um,
yeah, exactly.
and it really shows. They really had a pretty heck of a of a cast on this movie as well. Man, the casting, they did great. And then we got Peggy and we got Howard Stark as well. Those are big characters to bring in this movie. Peggy obviously as his love interest and as a
Yep.
total soldier. She's the real deal. She's ready on the front line. She's ready to do whatever she can to help to save in this World War II era where we take place at in this film. What did you think about Peggy and Howard Stark?
I mean, those are probably two monumental characters, like because you think of Howard Stark, right, and how this guy's Tony's dad, right, and how
Absolutely.
there's going to be a lot more that comes from him, and obviously Peggy, not just being that backbone, right, but
Right.
when you see the clips of like Ant-Man in the '80s, or every now and then when they take it back, right, Peggy was very very important in making sure that like SSR turned to Shield and things like that, right,
Yeah,
and really
absolutely.
putting the
She was very
foundation.
vital. She was very
Yeah, and
big.
how so I thought they're both good compliments to Cap, right? I think Howard kind of helped loosen Steve up a little bit, and Peggy helped Steve take himself a little less seriously. little, helped him battle some of his insecurities and things like that. So,
Right.
obviously they're very, very important characters. We talked about this earlier, and it's like how we wonder if Howard Stark, right, was
Right.
never really as mean as Tony made him out to be. If,
Right.
like kids tend to think their parents are a lot stricter than, um, they were to their
Right.
friends, right? Like if
Correct.
you ask, my
Absolutely.
kids about me, and if you ask them about, then you ask my
You're
friends about me, you
right.
probably get two different
Absolutely.
answers, right? So I think it was good to see that side of Howard
Of
Stark
Howard
too.
Stark, and is that the real Howard Stark? And is in Tony's eyes, is he kind of bitter and kind of jealous that his father was helps and loved Captain America, and he was there and helped him along the way in that pivotal World War II versus Hydra, and ultimately helped stop them. And they were close. That he helped give. He made the shield for him. Without Howard, he would have never have had the shield.
Right, right, and it just goes to show you, right? Like Howard's fingerprints are entrenched because he created
Everywhere.
the shield, and we get to the Stark Expo here, and like how it was kind of laying the foundation for the arc reactor, and Tony later found that in Iron Man 2,
Isn't that
and things like
wild?
that.
That's absolutely insane.
Right, how it all just
Just
kind of,
circle back,
yeah,
like, man,
guys,
that's some great writing right there.
yeah, yeah.
That's really good. That's some impeccable writing and just storytelling in general that they have knocked out of the park at Marvel and that we've seen again and again.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
what about Red Skull? Red Skull was on one. His introduction was absolutely crazy.
Right.
Rolls up in that crazy Hydra car, steals the Tesseract, and he's just a man on a mission to just wipe out just whoever he can, whatever he planned on blowing up the whole world pretty much. He didn't care at all. And then he had Zola at his
Yep.
side working the secret or working to actually testing people, and it turns out they tested and they caught after we thought Bucky fell off the the actual train itself. They found
Yep.
Bucky and they were testing the soldier serum on him, it turned out, and that
Mm-hmm.
they have been up to some stuff theirself when it comes to the super soldier stuff. So and then obviously Red Skull, he's the first super soldier ever. I mean, that's crazy in itself. He's a super soldier just like Cap, and I thought he was a
Yep.
top tier villain. I thought that was the perfect casting. I thought Red Skull crushed it and knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I think it was a good villain choice. I mean, you can't go wrong with Cat versus Red Skull, right?
Never.
That's about as good as Batman versus Joker, and Superman versus Lex and things like that, right?
Correct.
Just as far as arch nemesis and type of battles there, and it's interesting because he was on to the He was also another thing there, right? Like he was on to the Infinity Stones before everyone else was. Like
Oh yeah, that was what.
probably another thing, right? When you think about it, like you wish they would have expanded. Like what did Hydra like really know? We never got
Really
those.
know about
I guess it didn't
everything.
matter, but
Right.
you do wonder. Like that'd been cool to see like what they knew.
Yeah, definitely. And we will be touching on some of that Hydra stuff later in other videos and how they secretly they've been around for a while now. Turns out they've been hiding underground in the current timeline for a while. So Hydra's a big piece, and I thought they did a great job of introducing Hydra as a whole in this film and really
Yeah.
having Red Skull lead the charge and chop off one head, two more shall appear. That saying, "Hail
Mm-hmm.
Hydra," man. They were crazy in this one.
Yeah, they
Um,
were.
and then towards the end of there, we got the third act. We got that battle in the ship there when all the bombs are going out and Cap gets taken and to Red Skull's ship, and somehow next thing you know they're fighting, they're duking it out, and the Red Skull says something to Cap along the lines of, "Hey, I've seen into the future. There is no
Ooh,
stars, no stripes in the
ooh,
future." Was he right? Does he know anything? Did I wish they would have touched on that more? Like that's
yeah,
is it because in a way, if down the line he might have been right. You'll have to tune
yeah.
in to find out, but he might have been right. And how was he right? Does he know? Did he know something about the Tesseract? And did he know something about that? I don't know. It's just crazy how he dropped that line in there in the middle of their battle, and then
Hmm.
turns out could have come true. It's crazy
Yeah,
down the road.
yeah. Yeah, sometimes I wonder if that, like maybe it was a throwaway line, but it's also like, what if he's referencing when Tony Stark takes the shield from him, right?
Yeah,
And then Cap is
he does
is
drop
nomad
the shield. Yeah,
in Infinity War, right? And Black Panther gave him a
and
shield in Infinity War, but it wasn't an American shield, right?
right. Yeah, he dropped down
Nor
that.
was his costume. He wasn't wearing his stars and spangles, right? It was
Correct.
just like a all black
The
outfit. So,
Nomad, kind of.
hmm
Their
yeah, you
MCU
do
version,
wonder,
Nomad, almost.
right?
It's
Yeah, you
crazy,
do wonder.
man. That's
Hmm. Hmm.
crazy. So, like I promised before, guys, we are going to jump into some rankings and our ratings. I personally, I really like this film. I give it a solid 4 out of 5. There are a few takeaways I didn't like. Let's say it did go a little slow at some points, and that's how movies are. They takes a little longer to flush stuff out and fully tell the story, but I just feel like the pacing at some points was a little slower. But all in all, I gotta say I really, really like this, and I thought it was a 4 out of 5. Steve, what about you?
Yeah, I hate to sound repetitive, but I agree. 4 out of 5. I mean, I love the time period aesthetics. That's always good, right? We didn't really talk about that, but
Right.
they really
No, we did
nailed
not.
down not just like how people looked, but their mannerisms and the general, way the world was feeling at the time. And I think I agree with you, slow pace, right? I think certain parts they could have spent more time on, and certain parts they could have spent less time on. Now, I don't know if, certain people needed a certain amount of screen time to get them in the movie, or what it
Right.
was, right?
Right.
But I feel like, like I said, they could have focused maybe on Captain and Bucky a little more. I think they did good for Captain and Peggy. It's not like
Right.
they
As
were
far as
supposed to.
screen timing and all that and flushing them out there early.
Mm, yeah. And so I think that would have been interesting to see a little bit more, right? It's
Right.
just that kind of expanded upon.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the slow pace, but I really like the final fight scene.
Yeah.
They did have a good cast, not only outside of like, the main heavy hitters, but you had like a well-rounded Oils, Neil McDonough, right? I
Yeah.
think I pronounced his name wrong, from the Arrow fame, right? He was in there
Yeah.
too. He did a
He
good
was in
job. There's a
there.
few other people.
Yeah,
I mean,
part
they
of the
joined,
Howling
right?
Commanders. And they had a
Hmm.
few other returning characters. Peter's high school principal, I think, is a returning character. I think they say it's his ancestor that was in the Howling Commanders. Just a
Yeah,
random fact that I was
and
thinking of.
the other one too. I'll tell you this one. The other one too is from Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Because the woman who plays Peter Quill's mom
Hmm.
played the blonde woman that
Oh,
Captain
that was
America signed the autograph for. So
that
James Feige and
that
Kevin,
Peggy walked, that
excuse me,
Peggy
James
saw.
Gunn and yeah, so
Yeah.
Feige and Gunn jokingly say, "Oh, that was Will's grandmom that got the autograph," because it was
Huh.
just, it was just a flub. It was no secret foreshadowing. They were just like, "Well, we casted her for this 2-second role. We didn't
Right.
realize we were going to cast her a few years later for a little bit more of an important role." But yeah, so no, that one, as far as like if you want like deep cut Easter eggs
Right.
and things like that. And then the other one too, I always liked, as a comic fan, that they were reading the original Captain America comic
The
when he punched Hitler in
Yeah,
the
that was
but it was
great.
like
They
the
had that
actual.
going out, like going for sale and stuff, and like you touched on the attires from that time period. It really made you feel entrenched in that era, that gritty World War II. that like down grounded, like seriously back in that time when it was really serious, like a World War II. And then you had that aesthetic look down, like you said, even to the comic book issue of him punching Hitler. And I think he even referenced that in the movie, actually, about punching. I've hit Adolf on the jaw over 100 times when he freed the Howling Commanders, because when they were like, "Who are you?" or whatever, and he's like, "Don't worry, I've took out Adolf Hitler." But that's gonna be it for today, guys. So we will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching and subscribe.